gather around the table once again for another session of Dungeons and Drakfus. And today, we've got another little treat in the Burning Crusade that actually started there. The Burning Crusade was awesome as far as dungeons for a couple of reasons, one of which was obviously going out to Outland, but another cool feature was the opening of the Caverns of Time. Now, the Caverns of Time was there in Vanilla WoW, but the door was closed, and there was a big bronze dragon guarding the way. This expansion, however, opened things up, and now we have a bunch of potentially cool dungeons, not expansions, but cool dungeons that could go into the history of Azeroth. And so we're going to go ahead and get things started. This is going to be the first time in Dungeons & Drakfus where we're going to be following a quest line to be able then to go into the dungeon and finish it. And hopefully will be an ongoing trend, because this is actually the point. Burning Crusade was the point where we had a lot of quests that actually filtered into the raids that were easy enough to get. So let's go ahead and start things off with talking to the Steward of Time. Beware, mortal. Beyond this hall lies dangers unheard of in your world. Tread carefully. To the Master's lair. Ah, Drakfu, we have been expecting you. Please allow one of my brothers to fly you down to the Master. He awaits you below. So you can actually get this guy as like a potential flight pass, so you don't have to fly down here yourself. But it technically is faster to do that. But here you are in the Caverns of Time, where all the time ways kind of intersect, and where the Bronze Dragonflight oversees all of it. Now, the Bronze Dragonflight is an interesting problem, especially with gameplay mechanics in WoW, because they essentially take up about 3 rep factions. Because if people did the Silithus rep grind for Encourage, you had to do the Brood of Nosdormu. Here in Burning Crusade for the dungeons, you had to do Keepers of Time, which was actually how you got access to the heroic versions of the Burning Crusade dungeons. And also you had to do the Scale of the Sands, which was for the Burning Crusade raids. So yeah, this was pretty complicated, but here is the central room, and there is Zaladormu, who is just a guardian at this point. Unfortunately, Nosdormu is not down here. But that's okay, right? People might recognize this place at the end of Encourage. I actually came here to turn in the last quest over at Anacross over there. Anacross actually, I think, was the dragon that was guarding the Caverns of Time before that. So let's go ahead and talk to Andormu, who is a little kid. It's good to see you again. Okay. So to the Master's lair. We must prepare you for the battles that lie ahead. Okay, and the Caverns of Time. Greetings, Drakfu. Please follow the custodian. She will make things a bit more clear. Yeah, get used to this. Things are very vague. But here's our custodian. Greetings, Drakfu. I will guide you through the cavern. Please try and keep up. Now, she used to move super slow, but I think a later patch actually made her move a little bit faster. We do not know if the Caverns of Time have always been accessible to mortals. Truly, it is impossible to tell, as the Timeless One is in perpetual motion, changing our time ways as he sees fit. What you see now may very well not exist tomorrow. You may wake up yesterday and have no memory of this place. It is strange, I know. Most mortals cannot actually comprehend what they see here. As often what they see is not anchored within their own perception of reality. Follow me, please. You basically get a tourist guide or tour guide through the Caverns of Time so you know where you're going, because it's pretty complex. So now we're gonna follow this. Yeah, she moves a lot faster. I can actually say that she moves a lot faster than she used to back in Burning Crusade. So this is very much helpful. There are only 2 truths to be found here. First, that time is chaotic, always in flux, and completely malleable, and second, perception does not dictate reality. As custodians of time, we watch over and care for Nosdormu's realm. The Master is away at the moment, which means that attempts are being made to dramatically alter time. The Master never meddles in the affairs of mortals, but instead corrects the alterations made to time by others. He is reactionary in this regard. For normal maintenance of time, the Keepers of Time are sufficient caretakers. We are able to deal with most ordinary disturbances. Oh, hold on. Jeez, it moves so fast, so... Where is it? Let's see. First, yes, and second. Ah, I think I need to manually go through There we go. This will help. The Keepers of Time are sufficient caretakers. We are able to deal with most ordinary disturbances. I speak of little things, such as rogue mages changing something in the past to elevate their status or wealth in the present. These tunnels that you see here are called timeways. They are infinite in number. The ones that currently exist in your reality are what the Master has deemed as trouble spots. These trouble spots may differ completely in theme, but they always share a cause. That is, their existence is the result of some temporal disturbance. Remember that, should you venture inside one. Okay. The Timeway is in great disarray. We have agents inside right now attempting to restore order. What little information I have indicates that Thrall's freedom is in jeopardy. A malevolent organization known as the Infinite Dragonflight is trying to prevent his escape. I fear that without their outside assistance, all will be lost. Follow me, please. Yeah, complicated dialogue, I know, but this should help a little bit more. Oh, and there's Soridormi. Soridormi, the main consort of Nosdormu. And Nosdormu is the Timeless One. He is the leader of the Bronze Dragonflight, in case you didn't know that. And, special factoid, if you didn't know it, he is actually voiced by Martin Sheen, which is really cool, considering. Oh, here we go. We have little information on this Timeway. Sat has been dispatched and is currently inside. The data we have gathered from his correspondence is that the Infinite Dragonflight are once again attempting to alter time. Could it be that the opening of the Dark Portal is being targeted for sabotage? Let us hope not. So yeah, follow me, please. These are the two main dungeons that you deal with in the Caverns of Time. Dungeons. We will be dealing with the Caverns of Time raid in Burning Crusade, but these are the two main ones. One is called Escape from Durnholde Keep, which is based 7 years ago in the events of Lord of the Clans, the book Lord of the Clans, where Thrall escapes from Durnholde Keep. And the other one is the Black Morass, which is the opening of the Dark Portal, when the orcs actually came into Azeroth. This Timeway collapsed and reformed. The result was Stratholme of yore. What could possibly be happening inside? This was actually a big hint, I think, back in the day, as to in Wrath of the Lich King, we might actually see the culling of Stratholme, which was a major event in Warcraft 3. So, and I believe that still existed in Burning Crusade, so it was like, oh my gosh, could it be that Arthas is the next guy? And then at that point, people went, yes, we get to go into the culling of Stratholme, this is great! Which we will be doing in Wrath of the Lich King, because it counts as a Caverns of Time Wrath of the Lich King dungeon. Oh, I'm going to need to bring that up, because that's nuts. Let's see. The Timeways are currently ranked in order from least catastrophic to most catastrophic. Note that they are all classified as catastrophic, meaning that any single one of these Timeways collapsing would mean that your world would end. We only classify them in such a way so that the heroes and adventurers that are sent here know which Timeway best suits their abilities. Follow me, please. Sup, Saladormu? How you doing? So yeah, back in Burning Crusade, a lot of these doorways didn't exist, and that's the coolest part about this concept, is that Blizzard could literally come in, add in another event, and it makes sense that it would just eventually open itself up. So up until this point, there was only really 3 gateways that were open for anybody, and the third didn't even open until 2.1, when we got access to the Caverns of Time raid, which we'll talk about when we get there. So you had access to 2 dungeons, Escape from Durnholde Keep and the Black Morass, which is the opening of the Dark Portal. And now she's actually going to give us an introduction to this one, which was an awesome concept that I don't think was really lived up to in raid form. There we go. Let's just go ahead and open this up. All we know of this Timeway is that it leads to Mount Hyjal. The Infinite Dragonflight have gone to great lengths to prevent our involvement. We know next to nothing, mortal. Soridormi is currently attempting to break through the Timeway's defenses, but has thus far been unsuccessful. You might be our only hope of breaking through and resolving the conflict. Follow me, please. And like I said, Soridormi is the prime consort of Nosdormu, so she's kind of running things while Nosdormu isn't here. And she's also, I believe, the head of the Scale of the Sands rep. So eventually, when you actually need to do stuff for the Scale of the Sands, Soridormi is who you talk to. And I think that's actually going to wrap up our tour. So there you go. Our time is at an end, Drakfu. I would wish you luck, if such a thing existed. Of course. So let's go and talk to Endormu. Hopefully you now have a better understanding of what is expected of you. Kinda. Old Hillsbrad. To the west is the timeway to Hillsbrad of the past, 7 years to be exact. Forces are working against the Horde war chief Thrall, attempting to prevent him from ever escaping Durnholde Keep. If Thrall never escapes, this world as you know it will cease to exist. Gather a group of adventurers and take the timeway to Old Hillsbrad. 2 of our agents await you inside. Speak with Erosian on the other side. Okay, so now that we have this, we're gonna leave the Black Morass until we come back to do it. And then there is Sori Dormi, and we'll wait to talk to her when we get into the Burning Crusade raids. So here we go. We're gonna go into Old Hillsbrad to help Thrall escape from Durnholde Keep. And we're doing a heroic version because why not? Enough of you guys reached out to me and just said, just leave it on heroic. Sure, why not? Because heroic occasionally will get additional bosses, so we'll just go ahead and do it this way. Oh, and for the record, Blood Elves technically were not the elves were not technically here at this time, so you will get a temporal illusion that will disguise you. Because at this point, I think the elves were dealing with their own issues, and so this is more of a human problem. So I get disguised as a gnome. Anything where it doesn't make sense that my race would be there, I get disguised. Oh, yes. And so let's go ahead and step out into Old Hillsbrad, where Erosian is. Hi there! Oh, you must use the incendiary bombs at the barrels inside of the internment lodges of Durnholde Keep. Once 5 bombs have been ignited and the diversion has been set, find Thrall in the basement prison of Durnholde and set him free. Follow him and make sure that he does not die. Brazen will fly you to Durnholde when you are ready. So let's go ahead and turn this in. Our worst fears might soon be realized. The forces at work behind this temporal disturbance are a new flight of dragons known as the Infinite. We do not know where they come from or why they are destroying the timeways. I brought this up a while ago. I can't remember on which video, but it was in Wrath of the Lich King questing, where this is actually a conflict that they were dealing with for a while, where the Bronze Dragonflight was dealing with a threat called the Infinite Dragonflight, who were trying to interfere with the events like in this dungeon. So that's the other thing to get used to. If you get into a Caverns of Time instance, aside from a few, most will involve you having to take down the Infinite Dragonflight, which are connected to the Bronze Dragon. I'm not even going to try to explain that. You know what? I'm just going to put up Noble's video on time travel, because it's way too complicated. The best way to look at it is Infinite Dragonflight are kind of Bronze Dragonflight. So I'll just put up the video. You guys can get confused all by yourself. It's really hard. Okay, so in this pocket of time, they have kidnapped Teretha Foxton, daughter of Tamis Foxton, the secretary of Aedelus Blackmore, ruler of Durnholde and overseer of all internment camps on Azeroth. Teretha, I think it's Teretha. Teretha's diversion. It was Teretha who created the original diversion at Durnholde, allowing Thrall to escape. Now the Infinite have captured Teretha. The diversion will not happen without our involvement. You must use the incendiary devices that I give you and burn down the internment lodges. Okay, so this will start things up. Let's talk to Brazen really quick. I can take you to Durnholde directly, if that is your wish. Yes, we're going to go ahead and do that. You can actually explore the zone, but it won't let you go any further than that. But this will fly you directly to Durnholde Keep, just to get the instance started. I mean, you can go exploring on your own, and there are some cool Easter eggs in this area, but we're just going to get right to the dungeon since we had to do tourist mode at the beginning of the instance. So here we go, and as you can see, there's only 3 bosses to this place, but it is a pretty long instance regardless, and most of the time, it's a ginormous escort quest. Thankfully, it's been fixed, but I remember back in the day, it was pretty frustrating to go through. And as a guy who actually helped his guild try to get the Karazhan attunement, I had to do this instance a lot. This isn't required, but in order to get into the opening of the Dark Portal, which was, you had to do this one first. So yeah, that's a thing. When you already, yeah. But this is basically a whole series of events that you actually have to to help set in motion to make sure that Thrall can get out of here. And again, this is based in the book Lord of the Clans, I think? I've not been able to secure a copy of Lord of the Clans without, you know, paying a bunch of money to get one. But I believe, yeah, this is in Lord of the Clans. This was actually supposed to be, I think, in the game that was supposed to come out, Warcraft Adventures. A point-and-click adventure Warcraft game, which I still wish would have come out. But it's one of those canceled games that, unfortunately, Blizzard didn't want to come out. So let's go ahead and get things started by killing off some Durnholde sentries. Hi there! So our first task is going to be to set incendiary devices in the internment camp. So this is based roughly after the Second War, when, after the orcs lost, they were basically placed into internment camps to do forced labor. So that was actually a thing, and that's actually how Thrall started to be war chief, was he started to free these clans from the internment camps. So we're going to go ahead and start from here. And go in here. Whee! And all you have to do is take these barrels and put the incendiary bombs in them. Look, Drakfu's a little gnome! Gnomes did exist at this time. And as you can see, we have orc prisoners, unarmed orc prisoners. One of which was Thrall. But Thrall had different treatment. They, to make things short, Blackmore wanted to create a, where's the barrel? There it is. Nope, that's not the barrel. There's the barrel. Blackmore basically wanted to create a new war chief that he could control, and thus Thrall got separate treatment so that he could actually be this new war chief. And Blackmore, in turn, could gain an army of orcs to help him roughly take over human territories. Yes, that was a thing. Humans in the Warcraft universe are kind of scumbags, depending on who you're actually talking about. Like Jaina Proudmoore, good person, but then you have people like Grand Marshal Garithos, if you've ever played the Frozen Throne, who's a racist bastard. So, yeah, that's a thing that happened. Let's just go ahead and kill you guys. Boom! Almost done. We need to hit 2 more huts, and then we can move on in the questing. Boom. Go ahead and just kill everything in sight. And where's the next barrel? Over there. As you can see, the orcs were not treated very well. Again, humans were kind of scumbags in the Warcraft universe. Thankfully, they've fixed a lot of that problem in World of Warcraft. They've started to make more notable and noble human characters. Because you could actually dare say, like in the RTS games, the orcs were really the good guys, because they were dealing with other problems, and the humans were just trying to keep them off their land, kind of thing. So it's one of those things where it's ambiguous enough that either way, either one of them could be good guy or bad guy, but most of the time it was the orcs. And here we go. So now all of the explosives have gone off. Blackmore will have your head. No.
You there! Fetch water quickly! Get these flames out before they spread to the rest of the keep!
So here's our first boss, Lieutenant Drake. We're actually going to go and back off for a second and go into the lore of Lieutenant Drake. Lieutenant Drake was an ambitious military man, with his eyes set upon the glory of command during the Second War. His ambition was only matched by his hatred for the green-skinned orcs who had slain so many of his companions, a hatred which took form in his cruel treatment of the prisoners in the internment camps of Durnholde Keep. Alright. I'm sure you are. Ooh, we got a Grips of the Lunar Eclipse. So, is that a fist weapon? Nope, just hands. Alright, so now that we've taken care of him, we've had our diversion. Now we need to get Thrall out of Durnholde Keep. So, we need to go back up to the castle. And to the people who follow the tale of Drakfu and are kind of wondering, like, when we went through Hillsbrad, did we actually go to Durnholde Keep? We did, but it was in ruins at that point. So, not really a whole lot to see. So all we gotta do is go down into the basement, and here is our fledgling war chief, Thrall himself.
Loktar, friend. What is it you wish?
Who are you? Just leave me be. So, Teretha's diversion.
You are friends of Teretha? So this is her new plan. Very well then.
I'm not even going to try and do Chris Metzen, guys. Escape from Durnholde.
I have plans for my people, stranger. One day they shall overthrow their oppressors and rise as one. They will break free from the bonds that hold them, and from that uprising shall be born the Orcish horde. We will leave when you are ready.
Alright, so we just need to escort Thrall.
Loktar, friend.
We are ready to get you out of here, Thrall. Let's go. So open the door.
Very well then. Let's go.
And that's a good portion of this instance, is we are escorting Thrall out of Durnholde Keep and to safety. More specifically to Teretha, so he can actually thank her. But first, he needs some weapons.
I need a target.
What is the meaning of this? Guards!
Well,
That's enough out of him.
yeah.
As long as we're going with a new plan, I may as well pick up a weapon and some armor.
So he's got some basic armor now. Yay! And he's got an axe.
Let's go.
Yes, this was before he actually wielded the Doomhammer, guys.
Blackmore has much to achieve.
But our goal, obviously, is to keep Thrall alive, and damage will sustain, so he doesn't actually heal over... No, actually, never mind. He does heal now. I remember back in the Burning Crusade, at least I think in Heroic mode, he didn't heal. So you had to keep him alive, and it was hard. Burning Crusade Heroics, hard. I was about to not do, like... Short story here, I was about to not do Wrath of the Lich King heroics because Burning Crusade heroics were so hard. Thankfully, Wrath of the Lich King eased things up a little bit and made it so we could all do it.
I am a
Because some of us didn't have raid gear, or at least not awesome raid gear. Like I said, for most of my Burning Crusade, I was raiding Kara, so that's still good, but not as great as it could have been.
A rider approaches.
And here is Captain Scarlock, who is the second boss. But there's a little bit of an event, so we'll wait on the lore.
Thrall, you didn't really think you would escape, did you? You and your allies shall answer to Blackmore, after I've had my fun.
Out of my way. Guards!
Alright, so that is the second boss. Let's go ahead and go into his lore really quick. Captain Scarlock. Fiercely loyal to Aedelus Blackmore, Captain Scarlock rose through the ranks of the Durnholde military alongside his friend, Aladin Perinold. When Aladin decided to take up operations in the Alterac Mountains, Scarlock stayed with his lord and mentor. He became Aedelus's most trusted comrade and advisor, earning the title Blackmore's Spear. Alright, so we've now killed him. Let's go ahead and talk to Thrall.
Loktar, friend.
Thank you, friends. I owe my freedom to you. Where is Teretha? I hope to see her one last time and thank her before leaving into the mountains.
Teretha cannot see you, Thrall.
What do you mean by this? Is Teretha in danger?
The situation is complicated, Thrall. It would be best for you to head into the mountains now, before more of Blackmore's men show up. We'll make sure Teretha is safe.
I will do no such thing. I simply cannot leave Teretha in danger while I run off into the mountains. I am no coward. Now where is she?
Terran Mill.
Very well. Terran Mill lies just west of here. Since time is of the essence. Let's ride.
Alright, well at least this is not the hard part of escorting him, because he will actually run. And now he's mounted, so we can mount up with him. On our Illidari Fellstalker compared to his little Crusade Charger. Gee, things look kinda dated. So all you gotta do at this point is stick with Thrall, make sure he doesn't... occasionally there will be a patrol that you will run across. I have had times where you don't, so I think it's just kind of an optional thing. But all you gotta do is keep him alive. It's really easy at this point, and the real threat is just when we get to Terran Mill. So this is kind of the easy part of the dungeon. So here we go. And look at Thrall in his little leather armor. And now he's not even involved with the story. At least I don't think so. I haven't done the Shaman Order Hall campaign yet, so I don't know if you get him as a follower or something like that. It would be cool if you got him as a champion. Ah, so here is a little patrol, but we're going to avoid it because we are really close to Terran Mill. Actually, I just barely realized, the people who don't like the Cataclysm, I mean, you could still see South Shore as, or not South Shore, but Hillsbrad as it was in this instance, which is really cool. You get to see what the world looked like before that. Come on, Thrall. I move way faster than you. Like I said, some things were fixed. Not everything was fixed. And occasionally he will aggro things like bears and cats, so you will have to take care of them. But we're having a pretty easy run this time around. I think this is actually where he is going to get rid of the horse. Yep. Thrall startles the horse with a fierce yell and gives away his position. Alright, so let's talk to him.
Terran Mill lies just beyond these trees. The commotion at Durnholde should give us a little time to find Teretha before the entire countryside is flooded with human soldiers. Let's check on the nearby barn, then head into town.
We are ready, Thrall! So just stick with him. And we're going to go to the barn first, because there's people out here. And orcs aren't necessarily welcome outside of internment camps. Uh-oh. Well, nobody's really in here, so...
I thought I saw something go into the barn.
I didn't see anything. Thrall tries to calm the horse down. Uh-oh.
Something riled that horse. Let's go!
Come on, just turn the corner. There we go.
I am a slave.
There we go. So we took care of that.
Teretha isn't here. Let's head into town.
Yeah, we already knew that part. And then you had to have this lookout find us. That was not cool. I don't think he'll... Yeah, he won't trigger the peasants. But here is Terran Mill, as it used to look. Now it's just a forsaken outpost. And up next, we're going to go into the church. Because she might be here. Nope, not in here.
She's not here.
This day is long overdue.
But
My way.
your buddies are. It's almost like there's a pattern. Well, come on, Thrall. Making things harder for me. Okay, now we go into the inn. And here is actually where Teretha is. Okay, come on in. Here is Teretha. And now we get a little scene.
Thrall, you escaped! Teretha, what foul magic is this?
Alright, let's talk to Teretha.
Thank you for helping Thrall escape, friends. Now I only hope you can help me as well. I awoke this morning to find myself trapped in this magical prison. A strange wizard told me that I would have to stay here for a while.
Strange wizard?
Yes, friends, this man was no wizard of Dalaran. His clothes looked quite foreign, and his accent was unfamiliar. All he could mumble about was time this, time that. You have to find that wizard and convince him to release me.
We'll get you out, Teretha. Don't worry. I doubt the wizard would wander too far away.
Come outside and face your fate.
What is that?
What was that?
Right? And here's your first look at the Infinite.
Hangs in the balance. Surely you care for her. Surely you wish to save her.
So that's your first look at the Infinite Dragonflight.
There you are. I had hoped to accomplish this with a bit of subtlety, but I suppose direct confrontation was inevitable.
Oh.
Your future
They were everywhere.
must not come to pass. And so, you and your troublesome friends must die.
Okay, so now we have to take care of the Infinite Dragonflight. Which I actually like the design of the Infinite. This is actually a cool color scheme for them. We'll just take care of you, and come over here to take care of the caster. And then he'll group up somebody else. I know you are, and you are going to pay, Thrall. Alright, so now that we've taken care of your lackeys.
Chance, I will seek out my destiny.
Enough. I will erase your very existence.
And there we go. The Epic Hunter has been defeated, and that is it. I'm free! Thank you all!
I'm glad you're safe, Teretha. None of this would have been possible without your friends. They made all of this happen.
Thrall, I've never met these people before in my life.
Then who are these people?
I believe I can explain everything to you too if you give me a moment of your time. Boom! Neuralizer. That spell should wipe their memories of us and what just happened. All they should remember now is what reality would be like without the attempted temporal interference. Well done. Thrall will journey on to his destiny, and Teretha, her fate is regrettably unavoidable.
I will never forget your kindness.
They call you monster, but they're the monsters, not you. Farewell, Thrall.
So what he means by fate is unavoidable, unfortunately in Lord of the Clans, we actually do have Thrall confront Aedelus Blackmore, and when he does, he is presented with the head of Teretha. So unfortunately, she meets a grim fate at the hands of Aedelus Blackmore, which does spur Thrall on to be the war chief and also to be a good war chief, so we can at least say that that happened on it. But that actually does it for Escape from Durnholde Keep, so let's go ahead and turn this in. You have done a great thing, Drakfu. Alas, the young war chief's memory of these events must be as they originally were. Yes, we don't want him remembering. And with that, you can actually talk to him, and
Shaping the flow of time is a very difficult and quite delicate task, but you have performed admirably today.
Oh, actually, dang it. He used to actually teleport you back to the beginning. But I guess now with LFD, that's not necessary anymore. But that actually does it for the Caverns of Time Escape from Durnholde Keep. When we get back tomorrow, we will be starting up yet another branch of another hub for dungeons as we go into Tempest Keep and the Mechanar. We'll see you guys then.